In the silent heart of the desert, where the wind carries whispers older than memory, there is a figure that has watched humanity since the first grains of sand were laid across the Nile.
A guardian carved from shadow and starlight, feared for his judgment, revered for his protection. Few dared to speak his name in the darkness, for to call upon him was to summon the thin line between life and death. What?
And tonight, we step across that line.
This is the story of Anubis. To the ancient Egyptians, he was not merely a deity of death, but a cosmic force of order. He was both a protector of the departed and a terrifying reminder that all journeys, no matter how great, eventually lead into the underworld.
With the head of a jackal and the body of a man, he ruled over the tombs, guided souls to their final destination, and stood as the silent sentinel between the living and the afterlife. Unlike the monstrous beings that haunt our nightmares, Anubis was respected, even loved, but he was never, ever taken lightly.
Who and what is Anubis?
So, who was this jackal-headed god? When people imagined Anubis, they saw a tall, imposing figure. His black skin wasn't meant to be sinister, it symbolized the fertile, life-giving soil of the Nile after the annual flood, a promise of rebirth. The jackal was a clever choice. Jackals were scavengers often seen on the edges of cemeteries, so who better to be the guardian of them?
He wasn't a predator to be feared, but a protector to be trusted. His role was multifaceted: guardian of the tombs, ensuring they remained undisturbed; guide of souls, leading the lost dead through the treacherous Duat, the Egyptian underworld; and most famously, the master of mummification, the sacred science of preservation.
Origins in the mists of time.
His origins stretch deep into the earliest Egyptian myths, long before gods like Osiris became the central lord of the underworld. In some of the oldest texts, Anubis is the son of Ra, the supreme sun god. In others, he is the secret son of Osiris and his sister-in-law Nephthys, hidden at birth and raised to be the loyal guardian of his father's legacy.
The Pyramid texts, some of the oldest religious writings in history, call him "he who is upon his mountain," a shadowy figure watching over the dead from the cliffs. But his most crucial role came from a foundational myth. Anubis was the first to perform mummification, preserving the body of the murdered Osiris. In doing so, he didn't just create a ritual, he gave humanity the hope of eternity. He was the very reason souls could survive the journey beyond.
The final judgment, the weighing of the heart.
But Anubis's most profound duty was to preside over the ultimate judgment, the weighing of the heart. This was the moment of truth for every single soul. Imagine a hall of gleaming obsidian. Anubis, with calm, impartial hands, would lead you to the golden scales.
On one side, he placed your heart containing all your deeds, your cruelties, and your kindnesses. On the other, the feather of Ma'at representing truth, order, and cosmic justice. The room would be silent. If your heart was heavy with sin and lies, it would sink. The monstrous Amit, the devourer of the dead, part lion, part hippo, part crocodile, would consume your soul, ending your existence forever.
But if your heart was pure and light, balancing the feather, you were declared true of voice. Anubis would then grant you passage to the field of reeds, a paradise mirroring your best life on earth, where you could live in peace for eternity. Anubis wasn't a punisher, he was the facilitator of this divine justice. His judgment was final, but it was always fair.
Tales from the tombs, encounters with mortals.
Beyond the cosmic scales, many legends speak of Anubis's direct encounters with mortals, blurring the line between myth and folk tale.
Story 1: The Grieving Mother.
One tale tells of a grieving mother who wandered into the desert, carrying her deceased son. Her tears fell like rain as she begged the gods for one last moment with her child. As the moonlight faded, a jackal appeared on a dune above her. Its eyes glowed gold, and with each step the creature grew until its shadow towered over her.
Anubis did not return the boy to life. That was beyond even his power. but he knelt beside her and whispered a blessing of peace and assurance. The next morning, villagers found her asleep beside the tomb she had built, her face serene for the first time in years. They said Anubis had personally guided her son's soul to the afterlife and eased her mortal suffering.
Story 2: The Tomb Robber.
Another legend tells of a thief who dared to rob a royal tomb. As he reached for a golden amulet, the air grew cold. A deep growl echoed, not from an animal, but from the shadows themselves.
Terrified, the thief dropped his treasure and fled for his life. At dawn, priests found him at the tomb's entrance, unconscious but alive, clutching a single message carved into the sand as a warning.
Some doors are not meant to be opened. The man never stole again, living the rest of his days in pious devotion.
The god and the rituals, worship of Anubis.
Across Egypt, the presence of Anubis was woven into the very fabric of death and mourning. Priests performing mummification rites would wear jackal masks, literally invoking the god's spirit to sanctify the process and protect the body from decay and evil spirits.
Families placed small amulets depicting Anubis on the chests of their loved ones, a physical prayer for his guidance. The walls of tombs were painted with invocations, asking him to open the safe paths of the west, the land of the dead.
And at his shrines, offerings were left: bread for sustenance, milk for purity, and the smoke of incense, carrying whispered prayers from the world of the living to the ears of the Jackal God.
The enduring shadow.
Today,
Even today, millennia later, Anubis remains a powerful and enigmatic figure in our collective imagination. He strides through our modern myths, appearing in blockbuster movies, video games, and best-selling novels as the definitive guardian of the underworld.
But his appeal goes deeper. Psychologists and philosophers often interpret him symbolically as the inner guide that helps us face our deepest fears, accept profound loss, and find meaning in life's inevitable endings. While some see him as dark or ominous, many recognize him as a figure of essential order, one who reminds us that all endings are simply new beginnings dressed in shadow.
As the sands of time continue to shift, the image of Anubis endures, watching, waiting, guiding anyone brave enough to confront the great mysteries of death, transformation, and what lies beyond.
And perhaps, even now, somewhere in the desert night, a pair of golden eyes still glows beneath the moon, guarding the forgotten tombs of the ancient world. So, if you ever feel the wind shift behind you while walking alone, maybe it is nothing. Or maybe the jackal-headed guardian is watching, making sure your steps do not stray too far from the path.
If you were fascinated by the story of Anubis and want to explore more myths and forgotten legends from across the world, then do what the ancients did and make an offering of a subscription. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next journey into the hidden stories of our world. Until next time, stay curious.